think that good readers are poets as singular and as awesome as great authors themselves. No one will deny that the pieces attributed by Valery to his pluperfect Monsieur Edmond Teste are worth notoriously less than those of his wife and friends. Reading, meanwhile, is an activity subsequent to writing, more resigned, more civil, more intellectual. JLB, Buenos Aires, May 27th, 1935. Preface to the 1954 edition. I would define the Baroque as that style that deliberately exhausts or tries to exhaust its own possibilities and that borders on self-caricature. In vain did Andrew Lang attempt in the 1880s to imitate Pope's Odyssey. It was already a parody, and so defeated the parodists' attempt to exaggerate its tautness. Barocco was a term used for one of the modes of syllogistic reasoning. The 18th century applied it to certain abuses in 17th century architecture and painting. I would venture to say that the Baroque is the final stage in all art, when art flaunts and squanders its resources. The Baroque is intellectual, and Bernard Shaw has said that all intellectual labor is inherently humorous. This humor is unintentional in the works of Baltasar Gracian, but intentional, even indulged, in the works of John Donne. The extravagant title of this volume proclaims its Baroque nature. Softening its pages would have been equivalent to destroying them. That is why I have preferred this once to invoke the biblical words quod scripsi scripsi, John 19:22, and simply reprint them 20 years later as they first appeared. They are the irresponsible sport of a shy sort of man who could not bring himself to write short stories, and so amused himself by changing and distorting, sometimes without aesthetic justification, the stories of other men. From these ambiguous exercises, he went on to the arduous composition of a straightforward short story, Man on Pink Corner, which he signed with the name of one of his grandfather's grandfathers, Francisco Bustos. The story has had a remarkable and quite mysterious success. In that text, which is written in the accents of the toughs and petty criminals of the Buenos Aires underworld, the reader will note that I have interpolated a number of cultured words, entrails, conversion, etc. I did this because the tough, the knife fighter, the thug, the type that Buenos Aires calls the compadre or compadrito, aspires to refinement. Or, and this reason excludes the other, but it may be the true one, because compadres are individuals and don't always talk like the compadre, which is a platonic ideal. The learned doctors of the great vehicle teach us that the essential characteristic of the universe is its emptiness. They are certainly correct with respect to the tiny part of the universe that is this book. Gallows and pirates fill its pages, and that word, Iniquity, strikes awe in its title. But under all the storm and lightning, there is nothing. It is all just appearance, a surface of images, which is why readers may, perhaps, enjoy it. The man who made it was a pitiable sort of creature, but he found amusement in writing it. It is to be hoped that some echo of that pleasure may reach its readers. In the section called Etc., I have added 3 new pieces. JLB. The Cruel Redeemer Lazarus Morel. The Remote Cause. In 1517, Fray Bartolomé de las Casas feeling great pity for the Indians who grew worn and lean in the drudging.